Hi guys, welcome back to At Home with Holly. My name's Holly. I'm so glad you're here today. It's garden tour day. Let's get started. Oh, you know what? Let's get started in the berry area today. So it's the first garden tour of the season, and I'm excited about that. It's early May. It's a little bit of a cloudy day today in the 60s, but let's get started and see all the things we're growing. So the first thing we've got is our dwarf fruit trees. So we have, this one is a plum tree. This one we just planted together. It's a dwarf mulberry tree. Over here we have a peach tree. This one is actually a cherry tree, sweet cherry. And then we have a pear tree. And then we have a Honeycrisp apple, a Jonathan apple, and we have a fig tree that we just replanted because I thought my original fig tree was dead, but it is not. So we're going to have to replant that in a new space as well. So this area we actually put in together in the fall. And so it's where we're growing all of our berries and grapes and fruit. Let me show you what we got. So over here we have two types of currants. We have Blanca currants and pink champagne currants that we got as dormant plants maybe about a month ago. And then we have all of our alpine strawberries. They're the ones that stay white yellow looking, and they taste kind of like a strawberry and a pineapple had a baby. They're really delicious. I've just started eating them, but we grew all of these together from seed this year. So I've got the strawberry plants on the outside and the currants on the inside. And then we have our trellising system that runs all the way down so that our grapes that we have planted in between the beds can grow up and have something to attach to. But over here we have our thornless blackberries that we transplanted from the other side of the garden last year. So we have 2 bushes of thornless blackberries here and 2 there. Oops, focusing 2 there as well. And then again we have our alpine strawberries surrounding them. Here's our first grape. This is a Reliance grape. Yeah, Reliance seedless grape. So this is going to grow up here, grab a hold of the first wire, and then there's a second wire up there as well. So we have our first of the 3 grapes. And then over here we have our golden raspberries. I love these because they're a little bit sweeter, less tart than the normal raspberries. And I'm excited to get even more from them this year. They were in pots up until last season because I didn't know where I was going to put this berry area. So I'm excited that they finally have a home and can bush out and produce. So again, surrounded with the alpine strawberries. This is our second grape. This one is a Somerset seedless grape. Awesome. And then we have another, this is our first of the blueberry beds. And around the outside, again, we have the yellow, this one's a yellow wonder strawberry. Some of them are alpine and some of them are yellow wonder strawberries, but same type of strawberry. And then in the middle, there's a pink lemonade blueberry plant. And then let's check the tag. What's this one? Oh, the tag wore off. I think there's 2 jelly beans, 2 North Star, and 2 pink lemonade blueberries in here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the end. This one is surrounded with more strawberries. And then this is the Marquis seedless grape. And then we had 1 extra bed that we added this spring that'll eventually be some kind of berry. I don't know whether it's going to be honeyberries or more currants or something like that. But for this year, I put in my extra onions. And so we have Patterson onions and Red Wing onions in there because we grew them from seed together, and then I also purchased some starts just so that I could have backups because I wasn't sure if mine were gonna. Always doubt yourself a little bit, like, can I really grow them? But we did. We grew them together. So then coming over to the other side, we passed by some flowering dogwood trees, which we love. And then we'll head over to the beds next to the chicken coop. Okay, so first we have our green stalk basket weave pink planter, and I just transplanted a whole bunch of strawberries. Some of them are going through transplant shock and some of them are loving their life, but it's okay because I have a full asparagus and strawberry bed that I can pick more from if these don't make it. So we have a whole tower of strawberries planted, and then these are our brassica cages that we built together, and inside of them we have, this is to protect them from the cabbage moths. So we have 2 cabbages in there, and then we have a red bull Brussels sprout, and I believe, I don't know if that's a cauliflower or a broccoli behind there. And then over on this side we have a broccoli, 2 cabbages, and then a cauliflower that I need to harvest before it splits. I had a couple other cabbages and cauliflowers actually in another bed. Actually, let me take you back to that video because we harvested those last night because they were splitting. Okay, so this is starting to split open because it is getting warm out. So we're going to get these purple cauliflowers, and also this cabbage split because we got a huge amount of heavy rain. So I'm going to harvest this one as well. And this guy, I don't know what's happening here, so I might harvest him soon too. We'll see.
Okay, that's a little funny.
A little bit.
This guy looks good. He's starting to split though. Is that purple broccoli? What is that?
It's purple cauliflower. And then up here we have all of our violas, and I watched a video on how to make the most beautiful ornaments from like pressed flowers. So I think that might be a craft project that Olivia and I are going to get into with all these viola flower petals. And then we have our chickens in our chicken coop, loving their life. And then we'll head over to the main garden. Oh, actually, we'll take a look at the wildflowers. So down this row, Olivia and I planted sunflowers and asters and cosmos and wildflower mixes and bachelor buttons, and some of them we seeded and some of them we grew from seed and transplanted. All different types of sunflowers. And I actually threw a packet of sunflower Steve's sunflowers down here too, so we'll see if any of those make it. The school owns the property over there, and they spray the fence line with the weed killer. And so there's nothing I can really do about that. So since sunflowers are known to pull out toxins, I decided to plant a ton of sunflowers to kind of help the soil balance out what the other side of the fence is doing, and then also let it just grow in with wildflowers that the pollinators have just a lovely place to fuel up on their journey. So you can see some of the asters and zinnias that are coming up. Lots of sunflowers, a few cosmos that are coming up. So once this all fills in, it'll be lovely. The first year we were here, it filled in and it was kind of magical. And then last year it did not, and it wasn't quite as cute. So hoping this year it fills in and looks lovely for the pollinators. Okay, here's what's going on in the garden. Okay, so these are our potatoes. Last year, I've always grown them in pots, and last year we used the canvas grow bags, and the mice ate them all, ate through the bag. So this year we're using the hard-sided pots. I'm excited about that. We planted these early April. You can see they're going to start flowering pretty soon. They're doing really well, looking really healthy. Really excited about those. This is Olivia's bed. This is our first garden bed. This is Olivia's bed. Olivia is really into flowers and growing things for chickens. So over here we have our first succession of lettuce, and we put that there because this whole trellis is going to be covered, and that'll be a nice shady place. So we're growing these close together, cut and come again style. And we did a salad mix blend. But my lettuce hasn't germinated yet because we did a succession. So I'm actually going to pick some of this for myself this morning. But over here, we also have bush beans. This is kind of just a random throw everything in bed. So we've got bush beans. She's got some asters that were left too long in the container. I've got a table over there of all of our leftover plants, and they came from there, and they may not make it. They're looking pretty sad, but we're giving them a chance. So she's got aster, she's got snapdragons, she's got a couple extra peppers, she's got forget-me-nots, she's got cosmos, baby's breath. She really likes to make bouquets. Asters. What else does she have in here? Oh, and then over here we have birdhouse gourds, and the birdhouse gourds are going to grow up over this trellis, and then we're going to let them dry out and be able to make bird houses out of them. And then on the other half of the trellis, she actually planted Malabar spinach, which again is a climbing spinach, and the chickens really like that. So she planted all that for the chickens. And then this next bed, we have straw flowers on the end that we planted. We have some more violas. We had a couple extra peppers that we grew. So these are lilac bell peppers. Those are going to be really beautiful. And then this is where we planted our elephant garlic. And a lot of it didn't make it. Some of it did. So we'll see how that goes. But so this is where our elephant garlic is. And then this is kind of an overflow brassica area. So we've got 2 kale plants, I think at least 3 Brussels sprouts in there, and maybe a couple cauliflowers. Inside this cage, staying safe from the cabbage moths. And then along here, we just planted together our sweet potatoes. And so we've got 5 10-gallon tubs of sweet potatoes. I actually just planted those yesterday. So they are going to grow up, and the foliage is going to spill over the sides, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. This next bed it's full of garlic. It's got hardneck and softneck garlic. So on some of them, we'll be able to collect the scapes once they grow up, and some of them won't have scapes. And then in the front of this bed, we have zinnias. We have salmon zinnias, queen's lime, red, Aztec, Picotee, Lilliput. We have no Picotee's the cosmos. We got Lilliput, just a whole variety. So I'm excited to see those grow up. Next bed, we have a row of garlic. This one is my friend Ben. It's Pat's garlic. She had a relative that was really into cultivating garlic, and so we've got some of his garlic going strong over here. This bed also has carrots growing up the middle, and then we have our tomato plants, and when we planted these, they were like yellow and dying and horrible, and now they are all coming back to life. So that's pretty exciting. So I think we have 24 varieties of tomatoes. We started most of them from seed together in a video, and then a couple of them I picked up at a garden center because I killed a few. So I picked up a couple from the garden center, but the rest of these are going really strong. Just transplanted them, and you can see they were yellow and sad, and now they're throwing up green, one dark green, healthy wonderfulness. So we're excited about that. And then On the end of each bed, we have more flowers. So we have peach, what is this one? Peach, Melba nasturtium growing up right here. We have some marigolds. I think those are some white marigolds. And then inside here we have watermelon. We have melons on the inside of every trellis. And I planted a few more than we needed just in case they went through transplant shock or a bug got them or whatever. We can weed them out as we need to. So we've got sugar baby watermelons growing right there. We've got Prescott Fond Blanc melons growing over here. We've got, this is the next trellis. We've got Kajari melons and sweet passion melons. So they will grow up and over this trellis and kind of meet in the middle. And that'll be kind of magical. And then this next bed, we have more tomatoes, basil, 2 tomatillos, some more tomatoes. And then down the middle of the row, we have carrots. And then interplanted, we have basil and nasturtium and marigolds. And then I threw some of our extra Patterson onions down there. This is Olivia's fairy garden bed. It has, I think, a whole bunch of cone flowers in it, and then also just magical fairy tale stuff, and a pollinator drinking station. Over here we have all of our leftovers that are very stressed and need to find a new home. So we have rudbeckia and Shasta daisies and petunias and peonies and one dianthus plant and catgrass and celosia. I think there's some celosia in there. Yep, some celosia. And over here next to the chicken coop, we have a big pile of what is going to go into our cottage style garden around the chicken coop. So a whole bunch of perennials to plant there, like lavender and phlox and daylilies and all kinds of awesome things for the pollinators. Over here in the next bed, we have some salvia, and then we planted some nasturtiums on the corners again. And then we have, these are our shallots that we planted in the fall. And then we have our worm bin, our subpod worm composting bin. And then we have our herb area. So we have thyme, oregano, garlic chives, parsley, and some rosemary down in there as well. We have, this is a row of spinach growing, and then I planted some lettuce, but we had a really, really, really hard rain, and I think that a lot of the seed got moved. So I might have to reseed that, but I'll give it another week and see if it pops up. Now we had 2 extra tomato plants that were not just yellow, but they were crispy and just stem. And I planted them over here and they've greened up and come back too. So I'm excited. We have 2 more tomato plants in this bed. But then this is our pepper bed. So we've got bell peppers and spicy peppers and all the things. And you can see they're already putting on peppers. We started these inside and we up potted them, and they're just doing really well. Really, really well. You can see they're already starting to grow some, I think we've got some jalapenos in here that are already starting. So that's kind of cool. This is going to be good. We've got, I think like 20 maybe different types of peppers. So that's going to be pretty exciting. We're not huge spicy pepper people, but we are salsa people. So we love that. We've got lilac peppers and lunchbox peppers, and over in this pot we have some echinacea that came back, some cone flowers, and then we have some dill that's self-seeded, and we'll just leave that there because the pollinators love it. We have our rudbeckia that we transplanted and some rudbeckia that actually self-seeded. In this cage, you guys just saw together that we harvested the cauliflower and cabbages from this bed. There's still a little more. I'm leaving in there because sometimes they'll throw off little side shoots and you'll get little mini cabbages and cauliflower and stuff. So I'm going to leave them there. Then inside this trellis, there's our little bee house. Inside this trellis, we have more melons. So we have honey rock, cantaloupe, and we have, I'm not sure how you say this one, Pie de Sapo maybe, melon, growing on this side of the trellis. Over on this side of the trellis, we have Delice de la Table melon, I think is how you pronounce that. And what's this one? Charente melon. So those are growing up along this trellis. Inside here we have Red Bull, but we have 3 kinds of Brussels sprouts growing up inside the Brassica cage on that side. Then coming around to the other side, we have our sugar snap peas that are growing on this side. We have 2 different kinds of sugar snap peas, maybe 3 kinds growing over here. This one I'm the most interested in because it's a spring blush pea. It hasn't thrown them yet, but it's supposed to have really beautiful green and pink pea pods. So I'm excited about that. Then over here we have our cucumbers. So we have unagi. I think that's how you say it. Yes, unagi, which is like the English cucumber style. We have a Corinthos, which is like a slicing cucumber. And then we also have a pickling cucumber as well. On the other side of that trellis, we have our celery. We have 2 celery planted over there. And then we have onions. These are all, I think these are all the Patterson onions over on this side. And then I actually put in some of the Zabroon shallots because they're the shallots I have on the other side of the garden are the round ones, and these are more of like the long banana style ones, a little easier to peel. I love the shallots because they store for a long, long time. They taste delicious. They store for like a year. It's really nice to have. I find their flavor a little more mild and just use them for more things than onions. Not that we don't use a lot of onions, obviously, but they're a pain to peel. So I'm interested to grow the banana style ones because you grow them once and then you can plant them again in the fall and they just keep multiplying. So these Zabroon shallots, I'm not actually going to eat them. I'm just going to harvest them and then replant them again in the fall so they'll multiply. This has got more coneflowers and echinacea self-seeded. This is our strawberry asparagus bed. We ate asparagus so we were sick of it. And then now we have all the strawberries coming to life underneath as the living mulch. So that's exciting. Then over here we have more onions, more onions, more onions. This was our blackberry bed before, and so the blackberries keep sending up like runners. So we keep kind of picking those out, but this is also where I just planted corn. So it's starting to come up and I'm excited about that. So we've got a ton of food growing and flowers and chickens, ton of stuff growing. So we've got most of everything planted out, which is exciting. So now we're at the fun part where we get to watch it grow, harvest it, replant more stuff, harvest it, preserve it. I want to thank you guys so much for all the likes and the comments and the shares. And the shares, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We have so much more growing and preserving and planting and fun projects to do. So I'm excited that you guys are here. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next time, my friend. Bye.